Merly and welcome to the Roadside Homestead channel. Today I'm going to show you how I stake my tomatoes. Staking your tomatoes has many advantages. One of them is better air circulation, and if there is a better air circulation in your plants will grow healthy because it is less likely that diseases will develop. Also, it will be more difficult for the pests to attack your plants. The easiest way to stake your tomato is to use a tomato cage like this. Depending on the time of the year, tomato cages can be pricey. These tomato cages that I am using right now came from a clearance sale last November, and I got them for $1 each. I only have 15 because I did not have enough room in my car, so I could fit only 15. If budget is not an issue for you, you can buy those coated tomato cages. Some are green, red, and who knows what other colors are available. They are probably about $5, maybe $8 each, $10 for the big ones, and the coated ones will last longer than the ones that I have. Because I don't have much budget for staking my tomatoes this year, I'm going to use T-posts and yarn. This is probably not the best looking tomato stake that you will see, but this works for me. Literally since 2015, this is how I stake my tomatoes. Back then I used wooden posts that I got for free. Over time, I bought some T-posts. This one is a little bit over $4 each. This is a 4-foot T-post. So I'm gonna show you how to stake my tomatoes. These are the materials that you need. You're gonna need a T-post. This one is a 4-foot T-post. I usually put 4 of this in a row of 10 tomatoes. So you can add some more if you want to make your staking more sturdy. Especially when the plants are already big and they are producing, the fruits are really heavy. So you need a stronger T-post to hold on to the weight of your plant and the fruits. Also, you're gonna be needing yarn or a string. Now, yarn is probably not the best, but this is a cheaper option if you don't have the budget. This is $2.50. I bought this last year. I have used this for 1 season. I'm gonna be using this year, and then maybe next year I'll still have some more. Also, you're gonna need a pair of scissors to cut the yarn, a hammer to put the T-post in the ground. Now, you don't hit the T-post with the hammer directly because this is metal and your hammer will scratch the surface of the T-post. It's going to remove the coating and then your T-post will rust. So in order to avoid that, what I do is I use a piece of wood, I put it on top of the T-post and I hit the wood with a hammer. Okay, so I'm gonna show you how this is done. As you can see, this tomato plant here already has some flowers. The plant is falling over, so it's really important to stake this one to keep this plant off the ground. So it will look like this. We're gonna tie this to our staking so that our plant will be healthier. This plant as well has already fallen over. This one, you can see this is the main stem, but then it fell over because it's so heavy. So now the plant's growing like that. So we're gonna need to make this plant stand up like that so that the leaves will not touch the ground. As you can see, the leaves in here have some dirt. You see that? Now, this dirt will cause diseases on the plant. So the leaves of the tomatoes are not supposed to be touching the ground at all. I will first put the T-post on the end of the row. So I have this one. Now because my plants are already big, I will not put this too close to the stem of the plant because I don't want to hurt the roots. Well, obviously, because the roots are already established and they're already big and they're everywhere already, I will probably hit some of the roots, and that is fine. I will not kill my plant by doing this. Okay, so I have my T-post and then the piece of wood. I'm gonna put this piece of wood on top of the T-post. Let me grab my hammer. Okay, and then I'll just hit this wood with a hammer to bury my T-post in the ground. Okay. So this should be sturdy enough. It barely moves when I push it, so this is good. So now I'm going to put the rest of the T-posts in that row that I started working on, and then I will show you what I'm gonna do next. I had to move my camera under the tree because it's so hot in here right now, and I am using a Samsung Galaxy phone, and for some reasons my video stops whenever it gets too hot. Now I have all the staking on the ground. This one here is the 4-foot T-post, and then right next to it is a 3-foot T-post. It's shorter because we used this for the fence a couple of years ago. And then I decided to put a wooden stake in the middle because I can only afford to put 4 metal posts in each row. I have 6 tomato rows in my garden, and there are 10 tomatoes in each row. So total of 60 tomatoes that I will be staking today. The next thing that I'm gonna do is to tie the yarn in the T-posts and the wooden stake. I will start by tying my yarn right here on this first, this little, I don't know what it's called, but there's a metal right here that can hold my yarn. So I'll just tie the yarn in here. I hope you can see that. And then I'm going to weave this yarn in the tomato plants. So this is now supporting the plant, and then I'm gonna go right here and I will tie this to the next T-post. So far, this is how it looks like. It has lifted this plant from the ground already. Okay, so next we're gonna take care of the plant next to it. This plant has fallen over in the ground already, so I'm going to run this yarn back to the first T-post, but this time I'm going to weave it around this plant right here. Okay. So it goes on this side, and then I'm gonna weave it into the next plant as well. plants in my garden, and then I will show you what the tomatoes look like after I get done staking all of them. See you here in a little bit. I am done staking one row of tomatoes. This is what it looks like right now. So the yarn is holding the tomato plants up. This one I just tied the stem to the T-post. Just one tie for that because I put it right in front of the T-post. And then this one actually looks nice. As you can see, it has some flowers already. This one has more flowers too. And then you have this plant which is still bending because of the way it was growing. It fell over on the ground, but that is fine. It does not look perfect right now, but in a couple of days it should look good. These ones are not that bad. And then I have another one right here. At this point, the yarn goes up to about 1 foot from the ground. It's because the plants are not that tall yet. As these plants grow bigger, I'm going to add more yarn to support my plants. I am finally done staking all my 60 tomatoes. So I'm gonna show you what I did to each row so that you can see more closely how to do this kind of staking. And if you're interested, this is a cheaper option in staking your tomatoes to get them off the ground. This is the first row of tomatoes that I did, and if you notice, I have 4 tomato cages. Now, I am not biased in terms of tomatoes. I just chose to put the cages in the tomatoes that produce bigger fruits. So these are my big beef tomatoes, and the fruits are really big. They're round and big. And so because they produce bigger fruits, I wanted to give them more support. I also added some wooden stakes. So the tomato plant in this row, which is not in a cage, is staked with a wooden stake. So to make the wooden stakes sturdy, I also tied them up with yarn. So they're all tied together, and they're all tied to the T-post on the end of this row. Now let's take a look at the next row. The next row is, I'm not really sure if it's Amish paste. I think it is Amish paste tomatoes or San Marzano. And then one of these rows are the Roma tomatoes. I have beef steak tomatoes. Oh, this might be beef steak. It's too bad that I forgot to list down what they are, like what each row is. And then some of them are mixed up because some of my tomatoes died. I either accidentally killed them with a water hose while I was watering my garden, or they got stepped on by my son or eaten by an animal. So I have the big beef, I have beef steak, Amish paste, San Marzano, Roma, and I am sure that most of the tomatoes in this row are the cherry tomatoes. You can tell that they're cherry because of the leaves. The rest of them, I will just have to wait until the fruits appear so I can determine the variety of the tomato that is growing in that row. I hope you learned something from this video. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. If you have any questions, please write them down below. Thank you for watching. Happy gardening and have a blessed day. Bye-bye!